Gamenya aja belum saya buka. Ya, welcome back. Kita nunggu gamenya dulu. Belum terbuka. Belum kan ya? Wait, bentar. Ini belum ku ganti. Oke. Wait, what time is it? Does anyone ready to now? No. Somebody you and I don't ever blah blah blah. No. Sure, no. Like a day job. And now the job is over. Yes, karena udah malam. I still you don't know me. Ya, aku tidak tahu kau. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock, nope. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone do now? No. I'm scary. Don't jump scare please. Haha. Nyam. Talk soon. Ya, nanti aku bertanya. Thank you ya. Yo, welcome back the STANLEY Parable Ultra Deluxe. Let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yo, lanjut.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Kenapa nih audionya timbul kecil? Let's go.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
What this game? New content. Kita melanjutkan yang
You see,
kemarin.
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that
hari ini
legacy.
kita bakal
So
lihat
forget this
konten
ultra
baru
deluxe
dari
nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Kemarin udah.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. Whoa. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Come on. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Kemarin udah. Kemarin udah di sini kita melanjutkan jalan-jalan. Nah, di sini saya
Here
bikin
we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Enjoy. Flexible. Exit Infinity Hall. Boleh? No, kita ke Infinity Hall. Where? Depth, space, sense, infinity. Okay.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite
Infinity
falling.
fall.
You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Sure? Boleh jatuh? Boleh jatuh nggak sih? Gak ada jalan lagi kan? Oke, mari kita infinite falling. Yeah. No.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious
toh, bener.
concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nggak mau. Kita nyoba dulu sampai bawah.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend
Yeah.
you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Lagi.
Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I
Yeah.
don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an
It's
infinite
infinite
hole.
hole. No.
It's exactly what you're
It's
doing
fake,
right
bro.
now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley.
No, tidak. Kata
I'll be
infinite
honest with
hole.
you. I
Anda
truly did
bohong.
not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long
Ada
enough to
putung
hit the
rokok,
bottom.
guys.
Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to
ini
just call the
sumur.
hole mostly infinite?
Infinite.
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can... Oh, for heaven! You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
Makin pendek
I couldn't
lubangnya.
help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show
Jalan lagi
you
nggak sih?
and to talk about. And I've had
Yes.
enough of the hole for a life. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
Wow.
Okay.
Makin pendek.
Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite,
Ini juga ada
but that it's
tambahan nih.
growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the
yeah.
point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing.
No.
What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length.
Nom
Here,
nom nom.
let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh,
Sekarang lubangnya
who am I to
ketutup.
judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Teleport
Is
not
the,
working, nggak bisa.
Teleport button not working? You
Nggak
sure?
bisa. Iya, nggak mau tuh.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Nggak
Still
mau.
nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
Ya.
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
Lah?
You couldn't bear to
Why?
be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for.
Aku
It's a
terjebak di
win for
lubang.
everyone. You get to be with the hole, I
jahat.
get to do
Siapa sih
literally
namanya?
anything else.
Come on, help me.
Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of it.
Why? Aku ditinggal. Wow. Terus? Sekarang bisa jongkok. Dah. What the fuck? Lubangnya turun. No. Jadi apa ini? Wow, musiknya makin nyaring dan juga makin gelap. Wow, kaget. Ini muka Stanley, orang yang selalu loncat ke dalam lubang. Wow. Kayak lagu India gitu. Oh, merah. Wow. What the? Ada api. What this game? Pantai and beach. Oh, berubah. Wow. Karakternya berubah. Berubah kan? Wah, batu.
Stanley?
Yo.
Stanley! Oh,
Yo.
good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley. Because this
Thank you,
hole is
sudah
just
ngajakku
so
ngobrol.
darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment.
Help me,
So
bro.
how about
Don't
if I just
talk about
pop in
me.
from time to time
Help
and wake
me
you
to
up
get out.
to keep you really, truly focused on the hole?
Help me to out to hall.
From the looks of
Help.
things, you and I will have many, many
Please help
years
me.
here in this hole. And
Help
I'm
me,
looking
please.
forward to all of them.
Please.
Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back.
Toodle
Toodle
pip.
pip.
Beep. What? Apalagi itu? Tadi lubangnya turun. Nih. Apa? Tamat.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Ini dapat piala apa nih?
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
achievement. Apa? Lampunya bertambah sih. Ngisi baterai kah? Tidak diisi baterai ini. Udah. Aku ditipu.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Gak mau. Apa lo? Full deliver, receive lah. Nomor step. Katanya sih tadi tarik. Pesan tadi lampunya satu. Gak bisa. Apa sih? Full deliver. Pull me please, pull me please, pull me please. Tarik aku. Apa? Masa cuma narik-narik pool ini doang? Ada tamatnya kah? Yo, Stanley. Nomor steps.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable.
Acip.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Kita datang lubang tadi aja. Lubang tadi lebih seru. Ditutup. Yo. Apa nih? Ini teka-teki atau cuma jalan-jalan aja sih? Untuk sumpah. Masa nyerah? Enggak, lanjut. Stanley. Enggak ada jalan petunjuknya, cuman datang nih suruh. Free new and easy achievement. I can believe it is simple. Get it here. Mau cari tempat lain. Itu sudah. Exit. Sudah.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Ke atas. That's new. Infiniting setting world champion. Let's go, kita datangin jadi juara. Hey, it's locked, bro. What the hell?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Bisa diapa-apain?
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Enggak, ini loh apa? Aku penasaran. Katanya cuma tarik dapat achievement. Apa ada yang ditarik? Enggak, ini game ada tamatnya enggak sih? Jangan levernya aja nggak bisa ditarik. Bang udah. Kita disuruh out ya.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Buat apa
You see,
bucket,
Stanley,
cuy?
anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Gelap.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
Benefitnya apa?
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Lah, itunya kebuka. Serius? Itu cuma bawa bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Enggak. Ini kita kemana? Pintu ke sana ditutup. Kan udah.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful? Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named
my name
Jim.
is Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself... Jim! Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim.
Hilang. Jim.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Ini pasti ada jalan keluarnya ya kan. Kita sudah bawa bucket loh.
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Udah semua. Apa loh? Infinity Hall juga udah ditutup. Bawa besi ini buat apa? Achievement di situ udah. Itu udah. Emang ini kan terakhir nih. Itu cuman bawa ember. Apa? Tahu bro. Boleh nonton YouTube bentar nggak? Aku mau cari. Bentar ya. Aku nggak tahu jalan ceritanya. Nggak tahu. Tapi kayaknya kita ngabisin waktu. Udah, ayo kita coba epilog. Epilog kan. Nggak ada jalan. Astaga.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Tetap aja, bro. Kemana? Sumpah. Mataku kelilipan. Mataku kelilipan. Ini. Enggak, kita bawa embernya buat apa? Keluar. Bisa emang. Reassurance bucket. Come on. Bucketnya kita bawa buat apa? Gak ada apa-apa. Kita coba sekali lagi, kita kelilingin ya. Kita ke sini. Oh, mungkin collectible tuh kita harus mengkolek ini kan. Tunjer. Oh, itu tangga. Nah, ada progress.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yes.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Whoa. Whoa.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
What the heck?
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to
Nih,
create a
aku mau
sequel
panci
that
loh.
would capture all the magic of the first game.
apa sih,
I wanted
ember?
fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
What? Are you sure about this? What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Katanya dua. Oh, sama.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, sama.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Mana katanya tadi ada fitur loncatnya?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ulang nih.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold, Stanley
The squall is no pause.
thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life,
Fire.
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ini ceritanya, story-nya di remake gitu kah?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its...
Tamat. Tamat.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Gue sebentar. Yo guys, welcome back. Aduh. Aku bingung, aku pusing. Lanjut.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Oh no.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Yo, ini pintu.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation,
Bentar.
the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Bentar, aku tuh masih nggak paham. Bentar ya. Sama kan ujung-ujungnya. Balik lagi. Tuh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Kan?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Aku tuh gak paham.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Sir?
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Can I back?
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Can I go back?
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Mati, guys. Ulang.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Gamenya aneh. Nggak bisa dibenarkan.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Bisa turun.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Nggak mau.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yeah.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Whoa.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
Can I?
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That
Pencet
is its
apa?
singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to
Getar loh.
crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
Pencet apa?
Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Meletup.
The Bucket Destroyer. My
Impressed
prized creation.
creation.
You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it
Meletup.
squandered now. Goodbye,
New
friend.
friend.
For the moment in time that you
Goodbye,
were here,
mesin bang hancur.
you were magnificent.
Magnificent. Stanley-nya juga mati lah, meledak kok. Yo. What?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Masih
What could
aja.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
No.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Soalnya aku tadi
employee
ada
lounge
ngeliat ada
first,
boneka,
just
aku
to
mau ambil
admire
boneka
it.
itu.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
Never mind.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Tuh. Ke bawah sana ada
Look,
jalan
Stanley,
ya
I
kan?
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been
Kita
about
harus turun sini,
nothing
kan?
but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that
Ya,
convinced that I want something
jalan.
bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully. This is another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for
Stanley
these
2
things.
gini
What about
guys.
mini stands? Stanley figs? What about
Yang
Stanleys?
ketiga.
Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Yes, dapat tak? Ya apa? Duh kah? Duh kali.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Eh? Hilang? Hilang. Red door. No, I'm red. Blue. I'm
I
blind.
still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining
aku
the
ingin
entire story I'd
mengeksplor,
written out
bro.
specifically for
Janganlah
you?
marahin aku.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
did.
I can back.
And in the
I
end,
will
it
back.
was all for nothing. Because this is what you
Give me
wanted
back.
to see.
Give
Help me
back
here,
the-
Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Disuruh memilih guys. Aku anak pertama. Di sini deh. What?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Rate your experience 4.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep...
Bentar, kameraku salah nih. Oke.
this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous...
Bentar, pilih lagi dong. Dia. Oh, oke.
playthrough, I've compiled a new version, and to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
1, 2,
Let's take
3,
a look.
1, 2, 3. What? What? The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Offline.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
5 lah, lucu
Hey,
kok.
I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Ngapain?
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if
berisik,
it's the latter,
tau
well, I
nggak?
don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas.
Itu
I can't
ngapain
think of a
suaranya?
single thing that might improve
Iya.
the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Pintu lagi. Woi.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
Wow.
What's our backstory?
What is-
our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience
Ya,
of
kita
total
gitu
mental
suruh ngapain
depravity.
lo?
So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Boleh. Ini berubah game. Genrenya berubah. Kita disuruh turun.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
What? Jadi open gini?
It is. It's an open world game.
Iyalah,
Good
salah
God,
aja.
quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here.
Ya, ganti
Let's
game
find
lagi.
another
Bye-bye.
game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Ternyata kita Sandra.
I think
Gimana
this
sih guys?
will be
Kita
just the
dikurung
thing.
terus. Tuh dipindahin lagi. Main apa nih?
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Ya, kita suruh ngapain?
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
Yeah.
Stanley, I think it's sports
Lebih
ball.
ke
Oh, what fun. We shall run the
mobil.
bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley,
Mana
here's the
bolanya,
ball.
bro?
Have fun.
The hell? Aku tim apa?
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Lah. Ada cahaya. Harusnya aman sih tuh. Enggak sih? 427. It's my room. Lah.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
Kita tawanan nih, guys.
The end will be here soon.
Atau kunci
Very soon.
percobaan.
I can wait.
Yes. Aku nggak mau menunggu, bro. Lah. Oh. Balik lagi.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Balik lagi, cuy.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Ya kan balik lagi kan.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
How we can find them? No.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Yeah,
and in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. But at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Ya, sama yang kayak kemarin.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Sama kan terbang terus
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
Bangun.
The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
I am normal. Everything will be fine.
I am okay.
I am okay. No. Stres tidak?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body, and then she turned and ran.
Itu kalau ke bawah, kan? Ulang kan? Tuh. Ya udah guys, sampai sini aja dulu. Aku pusing. Sudah, sampai sini aja dulu ya guys. See you next game and bye bye.